The cabin lights were dim, the hum of the engine steady, when a single laugh cut through the silence. It wasn't kind. It was sharp, dismissive, and it landed hard on one man's chest. A tired single dad sat frozen in his seat, wishing the floor of the airplane would open and swallow him whole. He had no idea that before this flight was over, the same cabin would fall silent for a very different reason, because sometimes, the moment you are judged the most is the moment life is about to reveal who truly matters. Before we continue, take a second to support stories like this. Subscribe to the channel, hit like, and share your thoughts in the comments. This is Kindness World, where one story can remind us how powerful simple human kindness can be. The man's name was Ryan Carter. He was a single father of two, flying home after a long contract job repairing aircraft simulators at a base in Nevada. His suit was worn, his shoes scuffed, and his hands rough from years of work. He hadn't flown first class in his life. This time, his company had booked the cheapest seat at the back of the plane. As Ryan settled in, he noticed the woman across the aisle. Perfect hair, tailored blazer, expensive watch. She spoke loudly into her phone about board meetings, stock prices, and how time was money. When she glanced at Ryan's seat, she frowned. "Are you serious?" she muttered to the flight attendant. "I paid extra to not sit near this." Ryan pretended not to hear, staring at the safety card like it held secrets of the universe. His ears burned. He thought of his kids waiting at home, how proud they were that their dad fixed planes without flying them. He swallowed the familiar feeling of being less than. The woman, Claire Whitman, was a CEO of a fast-growing tech firm. Used to control. Used to comfort. Used to being heard. She sighed loudly every time Ryan shifted in his seat, making sure others noticed her annoyance. The plane took off, climbed smoothly, and leveled out. For a while, things were quiet. Ryan closed his eyes, hoping to sleep away the embarrassment. Then the turbulence hit. At first, it was mild. A few bumps. Some nervous laughter. But then the plane jolted hard. Oxygen masks dropped. A sharp alarm echoed through the cabin. The engines changed pitch, and fear spread faster than sound. The captain's voice came on, tight and controlled, but strained. "Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing a serious mechanical issue. Please remain calm." A moment passed. Too long, then the voice returned, louder now, edged with panic. "If there is any fighter pilot on board, any military pilot with emergency experience, please identify yourself to a flight attendant immediately." The cabin froze. Claire's confident posture collapsed into stiff terror. Her phone slipped from her hand. People looked around wildly, eyes searching for a hero. Ryan opened his eyes, his heart started pounding, but his face stayed calm. He raised his hand. A flight attendant rushed over. "Sir, are you a pilot?" Ryan nodded. "Former Air Force. F-16s. 800 combat hours." The words barely registered before she grabbed his arm and guided him forward. As Ryan passed Claire's seat, she stared at him, mouth open. The man she mocked, the one she thought didn't belong, was now walking toward the cockpit. Inside, the situation was worse than the passengers knew. A critical control system had failed. The co-pilot was injured during turbulence. The captain needed help now. Ryan didn't hesitate. Years of training kicked in. Calm voice. Steady hands. He assessed, adjusted, and guided. He spoke to the captain like a partner, not a savior. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, with teamwork and precision, the plane stabilized. An emergency landing was coordinated. When the wheels hit the runway, the cabin erupted into tears, applause, and prayers of relief. Ryan stayed in the cockpit until the very end. When he stepped back into the cabin, the applause grew louder. People stood. Some cried openly. Ryan felt overwhelmed, embarrassed by the attention. Claire stood too, trembling. As Ryan approached, she stepped into the aisle, blocking his path. "I'm sorry," she said, voice breaking. I judged you. I treated you like you didn't matter. You saved my life. You saved all of us. Ryan looked at her for a long moment. The old sting of her words still lingered. But he thought of his kids. Of the lessons he hoped they'd learned. That he nodded gently. We all have bad days. What matters is what we do when it counts. Claire covered her face, sobbing. Later, after the plane was safely evacuated, Claire found Ryan again near the terminal. She offered him her card, hands shaking. If there's ever anything I can do, Ryan smiled politely. Just remember this next time you see someone you think doesn't belong. That night, Ryan hugged his kids a little tighter. He didn't tell them about the fear. He told them about the people who clapped, and the captain who trusted him, and the idea that doing the right thing matters, even when no one expects it from you. Claire, on the other hand, went home changed. She started a scholarship program for veterans transitioning to civilian jobs. She spoke differently to service staff. She listened more, all because of one moment. One flight. One act of courage met with quiet kindness. Kindness doesn't always look soft. Sometimes it looks like staying calm when others panic. Sometimes it looks like forgiving someone who never saw your worth until they needed you, and sometimes, kindness is simply remembering that every person around you carries a story you can't see. That if this story moved you, let it remind you to choose kindness today. You never know whose life you might change, or who might end up saving yours.